Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's Mr.KB. It is September 14th, 2015. It's Monday, y'all. Today is the official last day of the first week of the foosball season. Foosball meaning the NFL, football. Before I get into what I saw and what I liked, I'm gonna talk some other stuff. I just got a news feed on my Facebook that Nick Diaz has been suspended by the Nevada State Commission, I'm sorry, for 5 years for testing positive for marijuana. Now, that's a joke. I don't like the guy. I respect him as a fighter because he's really good at striking. He's a really good kicker. He's just an overall good fighter. I think he's on a bum rap for his attitude, and that's part of the reason I don't like him. I think he has a shitty attitude. But he is a fighter, and he can back it up for the most part. The fact that John Jones, who tested positive for cocaine, which is a felony, hit and run, and just seemed to not care about somebody else's well-being while being high on cocaine, didn't get suspended at all from the UFC. Or he got suspended for like a year, but the Nevada State Athletic Commission let him keep his fighting license. Anderson Silva, I believe this is for the same fight that they both fought, Nick Diaz versus Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva tested positive for steroids, whether they were performance enhancing or just to heal from his broken leg. It does not matter. The Nevada State Athletic Commission has very, very strict policies as far as these types of drugs. He got 1 year for doing steroids. Now Nick Diaz gets 5 years for marijuana? Like serious? Like marijuana. That's literally, in the grand scheme of drugs, can still be as dangerous as alcohol, but I would consider alcohol to be more dangerous. Just because we don't consider alcohol that illegal unless you're under 21 or over the legal limit of actually intaking that substance doesn't make that drug less harmful. So that's all I really want to talk about is just that part with Nick Diaz. Now, as far as the NFL goes, it started on Thursday with the Patriots beating the Steelers, which turned out to be a pretty good game. There was some pretty good games on Sunday. I wound up catching the second half of Dallas Cowboys New York Giants game, and Roman just marching down the field and winning. That was actually a very, very, very clutch and great performance from Romo at the end. Johnny Manziel scored, his first touchdown pass in the NFL yesterday, even though the Browns still lost. It's good to see him kind of, I guess, in the way he said he would mature, see that the Redskins, without RG3 actually leaving him inactive, meaning that he wasn't even in pads. Kirk Cousins, again, not a vast improvement over RG3, or I don't even know if he's way better than Colt McCoy, but it seems like he's going to have the job for the time being, so let's see if they can improve there. Now, the big game that I want to talk about, the Niners, our Niners, they just beat down the Minnesota Vikings. And the one thing that's been bugging me as a Niners fan is that all the experts swore up and down that the Niners were going to be last place in the NFC West. They'd be lucky to finish 4-12. Like, I don't know where these experts are getting their information or even what they're looking at. My prediction is that their defense will finish top 10. Yes, they did lose Aldon Smith. They lost Patrick Willis. Chris Borland wasn't really that big of a loss. I mean, he was young talent, yes, but he didn't even establish himself as one of the dominant players or even as a vocal leader in the Niners yet. So they lost him. Big deal. Talent gone, yes, but it's not that big of a deal. Justin Smith left, which from today's game you can kind of see that there's something missing in the defensive line, but they're good at plugging holes. Now, Eric Mangini came in to be the new DC after Tom Sula became our new head coach, aka head coach Ron Jeremy. So, they fake blitzes, they blitz all in. They seem to have a better schematic for the defense as it is built with the linebackers that they do have with Bowman, Will Hoyt, Lynch. They also have Tremaine Brock that came back. He's coming up really, really good as a good cornerback, which the Niners haven't had in a very, very long time. Eric Reed back there with Bethea. The secondary doesn't look overpowering, but it also looks a lot stronger than it has for like maybe the last, I want to say 14 years up until this point. They seem to develop last year, and it looks like this year they're actually taking up. So I'm predicting right now that defense will be top 10. If they can play like they play today, top 5. But I will not put them less than top 10. Period. That defense is stacked. They've been drafting since like 07, 08 for moments like this. They've always drafted well in the defensive positions, and today's game shows it. All they needed was a good chemistry of coaches to kind of feed off each other, and it looks like they finally actually have it, which is weird considering that Jim Harbaugh was Jim. Once Jim Harbaugh left, they thought, oh my God, we're gonna lose and blah 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 blah. And I never thought Harbaugh was a problem, but the chemistry of the coaches that was around Harbaugh just wasn't working. The man himself, Harbaugh, is a very, very well established, very smart coach, but he does have a very, very strong personality. And I think around year 3, you can see just that coaching staff didn't want to work together. Greg Roman, I think, had checked out already, and I can't recall who they brought in this year, but even Kaepernick, look, I was pre-gaming the hate on Cap since the end of last season because everything, just game management, the inability to read defenses, to go past his progressions, to do anything. And then he worked out with Kurt Warner. I was like, oh, what's Kurt Warner going to show him if he doesn't want to learn? I thought he was so full of himself. Look, I'm not going to say that I apologize just yet, but from what I see, the improvements that I saw from him today, if he can keep that going, this team is going to be a force to be reckoned with. They will finish 12-4 or better if he can stay smart. Carlos Hyde had a great game, 168 rushing on, I believe, like 29 rushes, 2 touchdowns. Jared Haynes had a couple good runs, kind of a couple mistakes as well. He fumbled a punt. But overall, to have that 1-2 punch coming out the backfield, then they had 3 tight end setups to start the game. They have Vernon Davis, and they have Selleck, and they have I can't remember who the third tight end is. And then you have Torrey Smith, who didn't even play with today. Bolden. Oh, Reggie Bush is the third running back there as well. He got a calf injury, unfortunately. We're not sure how long he's going to be out for. But all in all, like, even the right side of the O-line seemed to step up today and just, like, blocked for Kaepernick. Now, whether or not they can do that against some high-octane defensive linemen, like, say, Seattle's front end, or even who has a good front end as well? Arizona has a very good front end. I believe the Rams have a good front end, but I can't remember them really being that great of a defensive front end type of team. But either way, in the West, I believe they will have the strongest competition for that position as far as putting pressure on Cap in their own division. Outside of their division, I think they can block just about anybody with the right schemes, and it looks like they're having it. Kaepernick was just really good. Like, he wasn't overly amazing, but he made the plays when he had to make them, as opposed to, like, the last 2 years, he would look up at the play clock with about 3 seconds left, and all of a sudden he was taking an unwanted timeout or delay of game or whatever. If you saw him today, he looked up with about 6-7 seconds on there, maybe between 5 and 6, but either way, more than enough time to look back down and kind of get his bearings, call his hike, do whatever he has to do. Perfect game management. The way he progresses through his receiver, stepping up in the pocket, running when he has to run, throwing it when he has to throw it. He played very, very well today. If he can keep that up, this team will make the playoffs. And I will say, if they can play solid, we will be seeing the Niners at Levi Stadium. Without hyperbole, I would say that. Before seeing today's game, I would have said they're missing the playoffs. They're going to finish 6-10. They're not making it. If this is the building block game for them, the defense is going to be top 10 regardless. That defense is going to be great. It's going to be the offensive line. Cap has to stay this good and improve upon this for the next 15 games. If he can do that, this team is in the Super Bowl. Whoever they face opposite them is going to have a very, very hard time keeping that contained with all the weapons that they have around Cap. And Cap now kind of coming into his own, and hopefully this is going to be his breakout year. I'm going to say that the first year that he had where he went to the Super Bowl is a fluke. That was half Alex Smith, or even more, 3/4 Alex Smith. The 2 seasons that he's had on his own have been kind of mediocre, and he really didn't push the Niners to that position. It was the defense carrying them. This year, it seems like they have a solid team. With what they've lost altogether, it seems like they have a solid team now to kind of, make this a team effort. The team in all areas can be top 10. Offense, defense, special team, they can be top 10 in everything, and this will be the team that goes to the Super Bowl if Kaepernick decides that he's going to settle down, stop doing commercials, and do what he has to do to make this team, that next level of power teams, up there with the Green Bays and Indianapolis and even the Seahawks. And even the up-and-comers, if they can hold them off, such as the Cardinals and the Rams in our division. It's exciting, no lie. Like, I saw it, and like I said, I was ready to just pour, because I've been pre-gaming the hate for like 2 weeks. And even, at the end of last season, I was just pre-gaming the hate, thinking he wasn't going to improve. He improved. And again, not at the apology stage yet. But I like what I'm seeing. And you know what? I saw improvement, and hopefully he can keep that up. But yeah, I think that's it for right now. The one thing I do have to kind of end this video is I got $25 on the PSN store, and I want to put it up to a poll if anybody out here is watching. What do I get with my $25? Do I get Ultra Street Fighter 4 for the PS4? Or do I get Skullgirls for the PS4? I'm debating between those two games. I know there's other games on sale, but those are the two that I really want. And if you guys can give me some suggestions, I much appreciate it. So yeah, Niners are perfect 1-0 right now. I don't think they're going to finish the season undefeated, as no team will, but I do think that they have what it takes to win the West and make it to the Super Bowl if they so choose to play like they play today all season long. High energy, high octane, and very smart. So that's all I have for you guys today. I'll get back to the gaming at some point. I don't know when, though. Unfortunately, I don't know. I'm kind of lost as what to do with games, and gameplay has kind of been messing with my cues a little bit too much for my liking, but we'll see when we get back to the gaming. All in all, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Mr. KB. Good night, and take care.